Hello and welcome back to my channel where we do and talk all things fitness and health. Today I'm going to be talking once again about body positivity, and specifically I'm going to be talking about this lady, Khloe Kardashian, and my thoughts on whether she really is truly body positive. Many of us have seen Khloe transform her own body and help others do the same on her show Revenge Body. Recently, Khloe has even created her own body positivity clothing brand where she states that her clothes are inclusive of all body types, since all body types should be celebrated. Now, what I'll be discussing is whether she transformed her body, helped others, and created this clothing brand in a truly body positive manner. And I think my answer may surprise some of you, and for sure shed some light on what I feel are essential elements of body positivity. So if you're interested in the ways I find Khloe Kardashian to be or not to be body positive, then keep on watching. I want to start off by addressing a recently resurfaced clip from an interview Khloe had with Jay Shetty. The interview itself is about an hour long, but the clip that's going around is just 10 seconds of that interview. All over TikTok, Khloe is being roasted for this clip because many find that her words are fat phobic.
Like, I can't stand people that are like eating a bucket of like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Like, I'm so fat. And like, they won't work out. They won't change their diet. They won't drink more water. They won't whatever, but they're complaining. I'm like, well, you're always going to be in this victimized state because you're literally not doing you're not being self-aware. You're not even looking at your own reflection saying, okay, what can I do to change things about myself? It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah, just watching that clip doesn't sound great. It's not good for Khloe, and many body positivity activists have slammed her for this. Khloe Kardashian is really saying this with her whole chest, as if she doesn't have personal trainers and plastic surgeons sculpting her body for her. I imagine it's so easy to work out and be the best version of yourself when you don't face the actual truth that many Americans face. We don't have nannies, we don't have people that clean our house, we work, we take care of our homes, and repeat. Hashtag delusional. Because it's just that easy, right? She was the fat sister once, and so was/is her brother. Be considerate of those with eating disorders and mental health issues. Let fat people eat their ice cream in peace. And I get these reactions if you are just looking at this 10-second clip. But I gotta say, I kind of feel like the critiques are being unfair of what Khloe's really meaning here. Now, before you cancel me, listen up. The actual full interview is called On the Importance of Putting Yourself First and Making Kindness the New Norm. Leading up to this widespread clip, Khloe talks a lot about trauma and how trauma can really F a person up, and that we need to give people the space and time to really heal from those traumas. There's no sense of shaming people because shaming doesn't get people anywhere, and you should really allow and be kind to those who have suffered. That being said, we need to be realistic. We need to set a realistic time to heal our wounds. She gives an example of it being, 5 years that a person has been down in the dumps, and that it's time not necessarily to demand that they've been healed already, but it's time to start addressing your problems. It's time to start getting past those beginning stages of healing. In the case of this clip that Khloe is being hated on for, she's not just saying that all overweight people are like unhappy and just complaining and not being self-aware. She's criticizing those overweight people who are unhappy and yet have not made any moves or attempts to address their issues. And I think there's a lot of truth behind this statement. As someone who lives and breathes fitness and mental health, I find that a lot of people, doesn't matter whether they're overweight, skinny, thick, whatever, but many people complain about their bodies, about their mental state, and yet do not claim responsibility for making the moves that they need to be doing to get to where they want to be. Many people just don't take that responsibility, and they have a laundry list of excuses as to why they are not taking the right steps. And you know, I get it. I get it's hard to pull yourself out of, you know, the constant excuses. I know life brings its own challenges. It can be extremely unbearable. You know, I've been that girl, that woman that can't get out of bed because I'm so anxious and so depressed. I've been that woman that hasn't worked out in a month because I have no motivation. I fully understand that like life is hard and that many people have it much harder, but it doesn't mean we can't pick ourselves up and make choices, no matter how small they are. Make choices that leave us better off and closer to our goals than we were yesterday. And I really think that every person owes that to themselves. Now, where I think Khloe is making a huge misstep in her interview is that she is not addressing at all those women who are considered fat by industry standards and yet who are actually healthy. I see it all the time. Women who are really, really frustrated because they work out all the time, they eat super healthy, and they're not the slimmest, and yet they feel ugly because they hold themselves to this beauty standard of being extremely thin. And I know Khloe in the clip that she is talking about people who are overweight and who aren't making any changes in their life to not become overweight. But I think a lot of women would interpret that to mean that if I'm too fat for my taste, I must not be working hard enough. I think that if Khloe wants to be taken seriously as a body positivity activist, that she needs to not just encourage people to take responsibility in getting the body that they want, but she also needs to be encouraging women to be aware of and accept the certain genetic limitations of their individual bodies. And you know, it doesn't surprise me that she's not spreading this message because she can't even accept the flaws in her own body. Earlier this year, Khloe got a lot of hate when her assistant accidentally posted an unedited photo, and she tried desperately to get that photo taken off from the internet. And people criticized her not just for the way her body looked, but also because she tried so hard to get it taken down, to the extent that she was getting lawyers involved and all that. And she was criticized for going that extra mile. In response to the hate, Khloe posted a live video on her Instagram of her body to prove that her body is not photoshopped. And she also said this message. Hey guys, this is me and my body unretouched and unfiltered. The photo that was posted this week is beautiful, but as someone who has struggled with my body image her whole life, when someone takes a photo of you that isn't flattering, in bad lighting, and doesn't capture your body the way it is after working so hard to get it to this point, and then shares it to the world, you should have every right to ask for it to not be shared, regardless of who you are. In truth, the pressure, constant ridicule, and judgment my entire life to be perfect and to meet other standards of how I should look has been too much to bear. And she goes on to say that she's a human being and that she's not going to apologize anymore for not wanting certain pictures of her on the web. And you know, I have some sympathy for her here. No one wants unflattering photos of themselves circulating the internet, and I can't even imagine the level of criticism she gets being how famous she is. Many body positivity activists have come to her defense saying, you know, she's simply not there yet. She's simply not at the point where she's truly okay with her body. And you know, I'm gonna say I don't think that Khloe is really trying to be okay with her body's flaws. I don't think there's any evidence of that. I think she's trying to be perfect, and I think she's trying to meet these beauty standards that she criticizes. And frankly, I think her and her family have greatly contributed to this high standard of beauty. When has she ever showed us that she accepts like her body's flaws? And looking at her Instagram, I can see one post where she posts her stretch marks, which are barely visible, and then like you can see her tiny waist and big butt. Like, she posts flaws as long as they're like not actually really flaws, they're actually beautiful. She posts an untouched video to prove that her body actually looks better than the unedited photo. She isn't accepting her flaws at all. She's just trying to make us think hey, wow, her body actually is perfect and it doesn't look like what that unedited photo looks like. Later on in her post, she says that she loves using a good filter here and there. Girl, we all know that you go beyond filters. You and your sisters Photoshop the heck out of your photos. All your bodies have had a lot of surgery done to them, which, like, not gonna hate on surgeries, but you should own up to them. It seems like her message here to us is that I was fat and I worked really hard not to be, so wow, look at my sexy body that is completely natural. But hey, you guys accept your body the way it is, but also be healthy and work hard not to be fat. So it seems like Khloe is just complaining, and in this victimized state where she blames others, i.e. the public, for her being insecure, and she is the one not being self-aware and asking herself, how can she change? Khloe Kardashian has a full-on business around body positivity. It's time to take your own advice and become self-aware about how you are acting in direct opposition to what body positivity is all about. So in conclusion, Khloe has a real point about taking responsibility for what is weighing you down and working through that at your own place, healing and making yourself a better person. But I really truly think that she does not take her own advice as it pertains to her own body. Until she starts accepting some of her very real flaws in appearance, which is what body positivity is all about, then I don't think she can or does have the right to call herself body positive. But hey, that's my opinion. I'm really curious what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below whether you think Khloe is body positive or not, whether I missed out on anything. There's sure a lot to be said on this subject, so just let me know. And if you're interested in hearing more of my opinions of body positivity, check out my playlist right over here with 2 other videos that I made on the subject. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.